Frank Moore, 91-year-old World War II veteran, married 71 years. So what can I tell you about Frank? When I first met Frank, I went to his house. This house behind him is where him and his wife Jeannie live. It's a log cabin that he built himself when he was 62. And when I meet somebody for the first time, if you've met me personally, you'll probably notice this from me. When I meet you for the first time, I'm going to shake your hand. Hi, I'm Cathey. How are you? But in the end, I'm Italian, so I got to go back to my Italian roots. If I see you the second time or we say goodbye, I'm probably going to hug you. If it's awkward, I'm sorry, but that's just how I am. So I get out of the car, I drive all the way down. It's like he lives like 5 hours from where I lived. I drive all the way down to Southern Oregon to go see Frank Moore for my first coaching session. I get out of the car and I walk up, and there's Frank outside chopping wood. Like, he's 91 years old and he's chopping wood. And I'm like, is that Frank, or is that his? Because he has a son that's like 68. So I'm like, is it Frank Sr. or Frank Jr.? And the first thing that he does, he says, Cathey? And I said, yeah, hi. And I went to put my hand out. He grabbed me, picked me up off the ground, and gave me this huge bear hug. And I kind of knew how our relationship was going to go from then. The first thing that he told me is, he's like, Cathey, I've been the Oregon Game Commissioner 4 times under 4 different governors. I speak in front of crowds all the time, on TV, thousands of people. I'm just going to get up on the stage and give a talk. And I'm like, sorry, Frank, you can't do that. That's not what TED's all about. So Frank and I kind of went back at it. You know, I kept saying, you got to have that one idea. What idea are we sharing? And he'd say, I just want to go up and talk for 18 minutes. Well, in the end, Frank had a lot of great stories, and he had this one story that he really wanted to tell, that he had been through so much trauma in the war, and he lost his daughter. Like, one of his daughters died in a car accident coming home from the University of Oregon in a car wreck. And he wanted to tell everybody that life's never perfect. Life's going to have ups, life's going to have downs, and the downs are going to be ugly and they're going to be terrible. But life in the end is it's what you make. It's what you make of it. So it was this beautiful story. Twice during the 6-7 months that I coached him, he quit on me. The second time that he quit on me, it was 3 days before the event. And he left me this voicemail. I was in the middle of a business meeting, and he said, Cathey, I can't do it. I can't. I feel the pressure now. I now finally understand what you guys want, and it's not me. I can't do this. And I freaked out, of course. I heard this message, and I'm like, no, Frank, we've worked so hard. You have to do this. You have an amazing story to tell. Who else is 91 years old, World War II vet that can actually stand up and tell this amazing story? And so I'm there at the TEDx Portland event, and I'm just focused on everything that I need to do. I've got people working back in the multimedia. In fact, Frank's 91 years old. He doesn't even know what a frickin' clicker is, let alone does he know how to use it. So I had 8 pictures that were up, and I told the person running the slideshow, ironically, hey, when Frank mentions his daughter, put this picture up. When Frank says this, put this picture up. So he's standing up there, and I'm looking, he's getting ready to go on stage, and I'm just like trying to make sure everything's set. I turn over and I look at Frank, and him and Jeannie are holding hands backstage, and their eyes are closed. And I just stopped for a minute, and I thought, wow, I really I had the chance to just soak in that we had been working really hard for 6-7 months, and he was getting ready to do it, and he cared about it at that point. He knew how much work it was going to be. How do you guys think he felt? Proud, yes, definitely. Maybe nervous, right? At that moment, he was like, wow. He was kind of just really he was very much like a bull through all of this. Well, he ends up walking out onto the stage, and as he's walking out, they played a little short intro video. When he walked out onto the stage, he got a standing ovation. He's there, 91-year-old, war hero, amazing. He gets this standing ovation. He's about a minute into his talk, and he's standing right there. And he tells everybody, I can't see you guys, but I think I have 3,000 friends out there. Lights are really bright and they're on him. And he starts telling his first story, and it gets really emotional. And he starts to cry. And so He pulls his handkerchief out of his back pocket, and he said, "I'm sorry, can you excuse me for 1 minute? I have to blow my nose." And he goes on to blow his nose, but he's 91 years old. You can get away with that when you're 91 years old. I highly recommend if you get a TED Talk, please don't blow your nose on stage. It's not good. So then at the very end, we had this moment where he's talking about Jeannie the whole time, but you really don't know if she's alive or not. You're not sure because he's kind of going in and out of war stories and him writing her love letters. And at the very end, we had this choreograph that there was this picture of them standing in Normandy, France, back at the place where he was stationed all those years ago. And we had Jeannie come out on the stage, and they held hands and stood in the same exact position. And they got this amazing standing O. So he actually got a double standing O. In fact, he was the third trending topic on Twitter that day. So many people were tweeting about Frank Moore and how he was awesome. It was amazing. As Darren said, at the end, it was just so much stress working with him. He was just really hard and persistent. He was such a bull. And somebody caught this on stage. He calls me dear girl, and he says, "Dear girl, thank you so much for putting up with me. It was all worth it." And he gave me a kiss. And I think I'm going to cherish this picture forever. So, and then a year later, I ended up giving my TED Talk in Hickory.